Hello class, I just wanted to make a quick video on how to convert from expanded form to factored form. Now this is actually a pretty quick lesson. The first thing you want to take care of is finding a common factor and divide both the terms by that same factor. So what I mean by term is, for example, 25m is a term and 20 is a term. Terms are mostly separated by addition signs or different operations. So we have two different terms here. And I'm looking for a number that divides 25 and 20 evenly. So I don't want any decimals and I don't want any fractions. Now, our first example is actually pretty easy. I know that 25 and 20 are both divisible by 5. So now I'm going to follow my second step, which is to pull the factor that I'm pulling out. In this case, it's 5 on the outside of my parentheses. And the quotients, or the answers to my division problem, will go on the inside. So for example, again, 5 is the largest term that goes into 25 and 20. So 25 divided by 5 is 5m. And then I'm going to add that with 20 divided by 5, which is just 4. Over here, I'm going to do a similar job. I have 44m and 20j. So in this example, I can see that 4 is the largest factor I can pull out of both of these. So now I will have 11m because 44 divided by 4 is 11 plus 20 divided by 4, which is going to give me 5j. And this is all I need right here. Now in our next example, we do have a negative amount. So we have negative 28f. So what we're going to do is we're going to divide both of these by 7. So 7 is the factor that I'm pulling out. And I'm dividing negative 28 by 7, which is going to give me negative 4f, plus, of course, 7 divided by 7 just gives me 1. Now lastly, if you have a expression with two terms that are both negative, it might be a good idea to pull out a negative amount. So for this example, I can see that negative 9 is a factor of both negative 9 and minus 27. So in this example, I'll just have d minus and then negative 27 divided by negative 9 is actually negative 3. So a negative divided by a negative is positive, and this just turns into 3. Now, a good way to check your work is to double check to see if your factors actually turn into what you're factoring out. So 5 times 5m is 25m, 5 times 4 is 20. And then for a little bit more complex ones, like for example this number 4, negative 9 times d is negative 9d, and negative 9 times 3 is minus 27. Now, a common mistake some people make is not dividing by the largest factor. Now I'm going to explain what that means. So let's say, for example, that we used this example right here. We used 44m plus 20j. So 44m plus 20j. Now a lot of people, because they see that both of these terms are even, that they can divide them by 2, which is true, but you run into a small problem. So 2, if we're dividing by 2, 44 divided by 2 is 22m, and 20 divided by 2 gives me 10j. Now here's the thing, if I look on the inside of my expression, inside of my parentheses, I notice that both of these still share a common factor. So this means that I can pull out another factor of 2, but you have to be careful when you're doing this. Because I already have this previous factor of 2, I'm going to have 2 times 2 on the outside, and that's where I would get my correct answer of 11m plus 5j. And now I know that these two terms don't share any common factors, and on the outside I have 2 times 2, which is just 4. 11m plus 5j. If you have any further questions about how to factor out or how to turn expanded form into factored form, as always, feel free to email me. And please just remember, divide by the largest factor, and that's going to save you a lot of time. If you have any questions, again, please email me.